Hey guys, Mac here, and we are going to do some exponents. Now, these are going to be a little tougher. These are where we really mix in our multiplying and our dividing, and so there's a few different ways we can do them. It's really whatever you feel works best for you. And just remember that you should really have seen version A first, and you should have watched my multiplying exponents in order to really understand what to do here. If you do that, this page won't be so hard. If you haven't, this page may be a little bit difficult. But remember, if you go to maxtutorials.com, I've got everything there for you, okay? So let's go ahead and zoom up on this. Now, there's a few things that we can do, all right? So I'm going to write a little fraction right there. When you're multiplying these, you can almost already think of all of them on top and all of them on bottom already, okay? Or you can multiply them out. I'm going to multiply them all out first, and so we'll see how that works. 2x to the fifth times 3x to the squared. So I'm going to get 6x to the seventh, y to the fourth, over x to the third, y to the second. I just wanted to write them in alphabetical order. Okay, and when I do that, now I can see that that's going to become 6 on top, x to the 4 on top, y squared. Because all I'm doing is I'm subtracting when I divide, I subtract the exponents and I write the rest on top. That is my answer. That's one way to do it, is multiply through and then start canceling out. Now, just to show you another way, if I see 5 x's on top and 3 on the bottom, I can cross out all these x3s, and this one can just stay as an x2. I see the y squared on the bottom and the y4 on top. I can kill all my y squareds and do the subtraction right now to keep that right there. Now, what happens? 2 times 3 is 6. X squared times x squared is x to the fourth, and y squared is y squared. Okay, so you could come either way. So let me do it that way right here. So here on number 2, I see that I have 6 a's on top and 2 on the bottom. Well, that's going to leave me with 4 a's on top. Here I see 3 b's on the top, 5 b's on the top, 3 b's on the bottom. Well, that's going to leave me, when I do that, I'll leave the b squared. So my answer now is just going to be 8a4b2. Okay, let me do it the longer way. I shouldn't say longer way, but the other way where I multiply out on 3. Let's multiply this out. That becomes a 10y7z5 over y4z squared. I just multiplied through. Okay, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and that leaves me with a 10. Now, I have 4 on the bottom, 2 on top. That's going to become a y squared on the bottom. I have 5 on top, 2 on the bottom, z cubed on top. Okay, so which way do you like better? I don't really care which way you do. If you feel comfortable with it, go ahead and do it. Let's do this one. This is going to become 12 c to the 8, d to the 6, over, doing it alphabetically, c cubed d4. Now I do my subtraction as I do my division. And so I'm going to end up with c to the 5 on top, d squared on top, because I subtract and I keep it on the bigger side. All right? Now let me do the other one the other way. That's an m to the 1. Now watch this way. I have 3 on top, 1 on bottom, which means that I'm going to be left with 2 on top. I have 5 on the bottom, 2 on top, which means they're going to be left with, when I subtract, sorry, I should have left the n there, 2 on top. And that leaves me with 12 m squared n squared. Okay? Let me do it like that again here. 5 p's on top, 4 p's on bottom. Kill all my p's and make him become a 5. 5 on top, 3 on the bottom. Kill all these down here, and I'm left with 2 on top. My answer is 12p to the 5 q squared. Okay? Now on this one, let me multiply it all the way out. Let me do it the other way. 7 times 2 is going to be go away, 14. X to the 6, y to the third, z to the fourth, over x squared y z. And now I just do my subtraction, which leaves me 14. Okay, I have 6 on top, 2 on bottom. That becomes a 4. I have 3 on top, 1 on the bottom. That becomes a 2. Something's happening with my pen. There we go. And I have 4 on top, 1 on bottom, that becomes a z to the third. And there's my answer, okay? Let me keep going on this one. Let me do my little cross out method here. I have t's, 2 on the bottom, 5 on top. Kill all of these, and I'm left with 3 up here. Okay, my r's, I have 4 on top, 3 on the bottom. Kill all these, I'm left with just an r to the 1. And then here I have 6 on top, 2 on the bottom. I'm left with just 4 on top. So my answer is going to be 20 R S 4 T 3. Okay, let's keep going on this one. Same thing. I'm gonna multiply this one out. 24 a to the fifth, b to the fourth, c to the fifth, over, going alphabetically, a squared bc cubed. Do my subtraction, and I'm left with 24 a to the third, b to the third, c to the third. Really, again, that didn't take very long, did it? It wasn't like it was that difficult. Okay, so you can go either way you want on this. Okay, this one I'm going to do the cross out. I have 2 v's on bottom and 5 on top. That'll leave me 3 v's on the top. Here I have 3 t's on the top, 1 t on the bottom. If I get rid of that, that's going to leave me with 2 t's on top. And if I have 4 u's on the bottom and 3 on top, I'm just going to be left with 3 on the top. So when I multiply, that's going to be 18 t squared u 3 v 3. All right? So again, just showing you different ways to do these. Okay, on this one, let's multiply it all the way out. 12, now look at this, m times m. That's going to be m to the 7th, n to the 5th. Over, I multiplied, and so I add. And this is going to be mn squared. Now I go ahead and do my subtracting because I'm dividing. That's going to be like a 1, so I'm going to have m to the 6 on top. I'm going to have n to the 3 on top. If that part's a little fast for you, oh, that's an ugly m. Sorry about that. Go back to version A because I went nice and slowly through version A. This is version B. Okay, so go back, go to Max Tutorials, and that will help you out a lot. Okay, I'm going to do the cross out method. That's like r to the 1, and I have 3 on top. So that goes away, and that turns into a 2. I have 5 on top, 2 on bottom, which is going to leave me with 3 on top. And my q's, I have 1 on bottom, 2 on top, so it's going to leave me with 1 on top. And I'm going to end up with a 12, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. They are in order. P, 3, Q. I don't need to write the 1. I always put a tail on there, otherwise it looks like a 9 to me. Okay, and then an R squared. Okay, let us go on. This one I am going to multiply through. Actually, no, I'm going to do the cross out method on this one, and here's why. I'm going to start with my t's. Okay, notice I have 3 on bottom, 1 on top. So what's going to happen here? This is actually going to go away, and this is going to become a 2. Okay, so it works that way as well. Now my r is 6 on top, 2 on bottom. They go away, and I'm left with, ooh, sorry, I don't know what hit there. Go away. And I'm going to hit, sorry, let me get back here since I had that little fiasco. I have R2 on the bottom. They go away. I'm left with 4 on top. Here, all my s's go away, and I'm left with 1. What's left over? 7 times 2 is 14. R to the 4, S. Sorry, I canceled that S out, didn't I? I did. I forgot to mark it. Over T squared. Okay, that one wasn't as clean as I'd like to do. I apologize. Anyways, it's correct though. 24, I'm just going to multiply across. There's no x's on top. So it's x5 y squared z4 over x, y, z squared. And then once I do all my subtraction there, 24 on top, oops, 24 on top. I have more x's on top, so I'm going to subtract and leave them on top. I have more y's on top, so I subtract it and leave it on top. And I have more z's on top, so I subtract them and leave them on top. Okay? Which way do you like better? Use whichever way you feel works best for you. This one I'm going to do the cross out. C, 6 on top, 4 on bottom, leaves me 2 on top. A, 7 on top, 3 on bottom, leaves me with 4 on top. B's, 2 on top, 1 on bottom, leaves me with 1 on top. And that's going to leave me 5 times 2 is 10. A to the 4th, B, C squared. Okay? Let's go on to the next one. Alrighty, this one, let's multiply it out. That's going to become 18 u to the 4 v squared w to the 5. And then on bottom, I'm going to get a u squared v w 3. All right, and then right there, it's got to be leaving my 18 on top. Now, let's subtract. Keep it on top. Let's subtract. Keep it on top. And now let's subtract these squared. Okay, that's a v. There we go. And there's your answer. Let's go ahead and do the next one. Let me look at it real quick. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to do the cross out on this one. I have 4 on bottom and 6 on top. I don't want to cross out the f's. That leaves me with 2 on top. D's, 5 on top, 2 on bottom, leaves me with 3 on top. And the E's, 1 on bottom, 2 on top, leave me with 1 on top. Multiply it across, 18 D3 E F squared. Okay, let's keep going on here. This one I'm going to multiply across, and I'm going to get 10 G7H3K4 over, we want to do it in order, G5HK squared. Okay, that'll leave me a 10 on top. Now, G's subtract. Make that a better looking 10. There we go. And then right here, subtract. Then right here, subtract. Okay, and there you go. Next one, I'm going to have a 4 on top. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do my cross-out method here. If I have ends, 7 on top, 5 on bottom, I'm left with 2 on top. K's, 8 on top, 3 on bottom, I'm left with 5 on top. M's, I have 1 on bottom, 2 on top. I'm just going to have 1. So now I'm going to be left with 4 K 5 M N squared. Okay, and lastly, I'll do the multiply across. 3 times 6 is 18. W6 X2 Y6 over W2 X Y4. And that's going to equal 18. Now, let's go ahead and subtract the W's. I'm going to get W to the 4th. Let's subtract the X's. There's an X. Let's subtract the Y's. There's a Y squared. And that's my final answer. So there's a couple ways to do them. So if one seemed to work better for you, and if you notice, they didn't really take more time. So what you want to do is do the one that registered with you the best and use that method. All right, guys, there's version C. Hopefully you understood and feel good. If you want to do a little more work, we're going to have them very similar on version C, and I'll see you there.